Limestone Cowboy. His name is David Allan Coe. I have never been a tattletale. He gave me the first sparkly suit I ever wore, and I told him I'd wear it until it fell apart. David Allan Coe lived wilder than most people. Prison walls couldn't keep him locked up, and Nashville tried but couldn't make him be quiet. But in the end, it wasn't an enemy or bad news story that brought him down. It was someone close to him who betrayed him. I was going to be really good at something. Either I was going to be a professional bank robber or a professional singer. After many years of causing trouble with famous singers like Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings, Coe had to sell all his songs for only $25,000. What made the Outlaw King so desperate that he did this? And how did a secret government tax raid finally beat down the rebel spirit of country music's wildest voice? Come with us as we tell you the sad ending of David Allan Coe. Someone asked me and said, "David, how would you like to be a firefighter?" Because I guess a couple of the firefighters got hurt. And I said, "Man, they can take that job and forget it." I don't think of it as being unfair. I don't think of it as being mean to certain people. I just think of it as how things really are. From jail bars to Nashville stars. David Allan Coe's problems started when he was young. He was born September 6, 1939, in Akron, Ohio. Then his childhood ended suddenly when the police put him in reform school when he was only 9 years old. This one decision changed everything for the boy who would later shake up country music. The reform school system totally failed Coe. He spent most of his young life locked up, with a big chunk of time at the scary Ohio State Prison. Other prisoners like Screaming Jay Hawkins showed him how music could stay alive even behind bars. Coe learned to play guitar during those prison years, teaching himself while other prisoners yelled and fought all around him. Music became his way to escape from a world of concrete walls and metal bars. He wrote songs and performed on the prison radio station, creating the rough sound that would later make him famous. The things that happened to him inside those walls changed his personality in ways that Nashville would never really understand. When he got out of prison in 1967, it started an unlikely trip to country music fame. Coe went straight to Nashville with nothing but determination and a guitar. The city that promised dreams gave him a harsh reality instead. He had no money, no friends in the business, and no place to live. The answer came in the form of a hearse parked outside the Ryman Theater. Coe made this weird car his home, sleeping where most people carried dead bodies. Street corners became his stage as he sang for anyone who would listen. Tourists and local people watched this long-haired ex-prisoner sing with a passion that came from years of holding back his feelings. Shelby Singleton owned Plantation Records and happened to see one of these surprise performances. Something about Coe's raw talent and real prison stories caught his attention. Singleton saw something special where others might have seen trouble. Working together led to Coe's 1971 album, Penitentiary Blues. The record came directly from his time behind bars, giving listeners a look into a world most had never seen. Prison life stories became country music gold when told through Coe's special way of seeing things. Pete and Rose Drake noticed his songwriting skills early on. Their Nashville-based Windows publishing company gave Coe an exclusive deal in October 1971. This deal was really important for his money survival during those early years when radio stations wouldn't play his music. Other singers started recording Coe's songs while he got rejected as a solo singer because of his prison past and weird looks. In 1973, Tanya Tucker recorded Would You Lay With Me in a Field of Stone, a slow song written by Coe that became a #1 hit. The song hit #1 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart and sold lots of copies. The song's success not only made Tucker famous at just 15 years old, but also earned Coe a lot of money from writing songs and got attention from big music publishers. That same year, Billy Joe Spears recorded Coe's Souvenirs and California Memories, which didn't chart as high, but was liked a lot in the outlaw country music scene. These recordings helped Coe get a publishing deal with Pete and Rose Drake's Windows Publishing, making him one of Nashville's most money-making songwriters, even though he was still shut out by radio and record company bosses who wouldn't take a chance on him as a singer. The unfairness hurt deeply. Coe could write hit songs for other singers, but couldn't get his voice heard on country radio. His prison past and weird looks made radio program directors nervous. The same real experiences that made his songs powerful also made him hard to sell to regular audiences. This early success as a songwriter created a base that would support him through many years of controversy and money troubles ahead. Few people know that the song Nashville, called Perfect, almost didn't get recorded. So, what made two legendary songwriters beg Coe to change their masterpiece? The perfect song and sparkly suit revolution. Steve Goodman and John Prine had already written what they thought was a complete country song. The Chicago folk musicians believed their creation captured everything country music represented. Coe totally disagreed when he first heard their work. The original version was missing something important in Coe's mind. He told Goodman the song needed to mention trucks, trains, prison, and getting drunk, the real foundations of country music. Goodman didn't want to change it at first, thinking his song was already finished. Coe's stubbornness paid off when Goodman finally added the things he asked for. The new verse changed their good song into something amazing. You Never Even Called Me by My Name became what Coe said was the perfect country and western song. The song hit the radio in 1975 and climbed to number 8 on the country charts. This was Coe's first big breakthrough as a recording artist rather than just a songwriter. Radio programmers who had ignored his voice before suddenly couldn't get enough of the catchy tune. Success brought unexpected chances for creative expression. Coe began creating a stage character that would become legendary in country music circles. His father had told him stories about the Lone Ranger's mystery when the mask came off. This inspired Coe to adopt his own mysterious identity. The sparkly element came from an unlikely source. Mel Tillis owned an entire closet filled with glittering stage outfits. Coe became fascinated with these fancy costumes and decided to create his own version. He combined the Lone Ranger mask idea with sparkly clothing to create the mysterious rhinestone cowboy. This new character appeared on his 1975 album, The Mysterious Rhinestone Cowboy, marking a bold change from traditional country artist images. Coe wore a Lone Ranger-style mask paired with sparkly studded suits, mixing influences from both country legends and rock showmanship. His on-stage presence, part outlaw, part glam rock, immediately caught the attention of Nashville insiders. Critics and fans were split. Some thought it was genius branding, while others saw it as weird or off-putting, but no one could ignore it. Coe's theatrical approach made him a pioneer in mixing visual performance with outlaw country music, doing things before similar stylistic moves later adopted by artists like Hank Williams III and Kid Rock. The timing couldn't have been better for such bold artistic choices. Director James Salapsky was filming a documentary about emerging country artists who were challenging Nashville's polished sound. Heart-Worn Highways would feature several groundbreaking musicians from this rebellious movement. Coe joined an impressive lineup that included Townes Van Zandt, Steve Earle, Rodney Crowell, and Guy Clark. The documentary captured these artists during a pivotal moment when they were reshaping country music's boundaries. Coe's masked performances and prison stories added a unique element to the film. His collaboration with Johnny Cash further elevated his status within the outlaw country movement. Cash's 1975 album included Cocaine Carolina, a song written by Cash himself. Coe provided background vocals for the track, lending his distinctive voice to support the Man in Black. This partnership with Cash opened doors throughout the industry. Other established artists began taking notice of the masked songwriter who had spent years in prison. His authentic outlaw credentials couldn't be questioned by anyone familiar with his background. The rhinestone cowboy character became Coe's trademark during live performances across the country. Audiences never knew what to expect from the mysterious figure behind the mask. While Nashville celebrated his mainstream success, Coe was secretly building a completely different musical empire that would eventually destroy everything he had worked for. What was he up to, and how come no one ever saw it coming? Underground empire and explosive fights. Coe discovered Shel Silverstein's comedy album Freakin' at the Freakers Ball during a trip to Key West. The experience opened his eyes to an entirely different type of musical expression. Silverstein's adult-themed humor inspired Coe to write his controversial material that would never make it onto country radio. The result was Nothing Sacred, an album filled with explicit content that mainstream record labels wouldn't touch. Coe decided to release it himself in 1978 using an unusual distribution method that would become his trademark. Easy Rider's Motorcycle magazine featured the album in their back pages, allowing readers to order it through the mail. This underground approach worked better than anyone expected. Bikers and rebels across America discovered Coe's hidden musical side through these magazine advertisements. The album contained material so explicit that it couldn't be sold in regular record stores, making it even more appealing to his target audience. Legal trouble arrived quickly when Jimmy Buffett accused Coe of stealing the melody from Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes for his song Divers Do It Deeper. The accusation sparked a feud that would escalate far beyond simple copyright disputes. Coe responded by writing mean lyrics about Buffett and including them on his underground releases. The conflict reached a dangerous peak when Coe deliberately crashed his Jeep into Buffett's vehicle. This incident led to lawsuits and created lasting hatred between the two artists. Coe's willingness to turn creative disputes into physical confrontations showed how far he would go to defend his artistic choices. His 1979 album Spectrum 7 pushed boundaries even further than his previous underground work. The record featured explicit discussions about Nashville parties and conversations with adult film stars. Columbia Records had no idea their artist was creating such controversial material on the side. Coe targeted specific public figures who opposed his worldview. These releases generated substantial income through mail-order sales while simultaneously damaging his mainstream career prospects. Radio programmers and record executives began distancing themselves from an artist who seemed determined to offend as many people as possible. The motorcycle magazine distribution network expanded to include truck stops and adult bookstores. Coe's underground catalog expanded rapidly throughout the early 1980s, with each new release pushing the boundaries of lyrical content further. Albums like Nothing Sacred in 1978 and Underground Album in 1982 featured songs that were filled with graphic references, bad language, and politically incorrect language. Distributed primarily through biker magazines like Easy Riders and sold via mail order, these records bypassed traditional music retailers and radio channels entirely. Coe's refusal to censor himself aligned with his image as a hardened ex-convict and outlaw. But the explicit nature of the material turned away mainstream audiences and record labels. Despite the controversy, or perhaps because of it, his underground albums developed a cult following among fans who viewed him as a fearless voice against societal norms. But industry insiders started viewing him as a problem rather than an asset. His mainstream success with songs like The Ride couldn't overcome the reputation damage caused by his underground releases. Record labels became hesitant to promote an artist whose secret catalog could embarrass them at any moment. The Easy Riders magazine connection also linked him to motorcycle culture in ways that made corporate sponsors uncomfortable. The underground albums were just the beginning of Coe's self-destructive path, leading to an album cover so shocking it would make him a pariah overnight. What image could destroy a career that had survived prison feuds and explicit recordings? Crossing every line. The 1986 album Son of the South featured cover art that stunned the music industry. Coe appeared holding a newborn baby while draped in a Confederate flag, creating an image that sparked immediate outrage. Record stores refused to display the album prominently, and radio stations pulled his music from rotation. Critics accused him of promoting racist ideologies through the provocative imagery. The timing couldn't have been worse, as America was still dealing with civil rights issues and Confederate symbolism. Coe defended the cover as an artistic expression representing his Southern heritage and family values. His response to the controversy only made things worse. The back of the album included a statement where he addressed his critics directly, claiming he had no issues with people of any race or religion. This defensive approach failed to calm the storm surrounding the release. Musical content on the album also drew fierce criticism. Radio programmers found the content completely unacceptable. Coe insisted the songs reflected authentic experiences from his childhood rather than promoting hatred. The New York Times published a harsh review calling his music nasty, racist, woman-hating, and sexist. This mainstream media attack reached audiences far beyond country music fans, damaging his reputation across multiple demographics. Music industry executives began treating him as radioactive. While his career burned from controversy, Coe was simultaneously creating some of his most innovative work. His collaboration with Pantera guitarist Dimebag Darrell started in 1999 and represented a complete departure from traditional country music. The project aimed to blend heavy metal with country storytelling in ways nobody had attempted before. Recording sessions for Rebel Meets Rebel took place sporadically between 1999 and 2003. Coe and Darrell discovered surprising connections between country music's outlaw themes and heavy metal's rebellious spirit. Both genres celebrated outsiders who refused to conform to mainstream expectations. The album remained unreleased during the recording period as both artists struggled with their respective industry pressures. Darrell's tragic murder in 2004 left the project incomplete, though it would eventually see release in 2006 as a tribute to the fallen guitarist. Kid Rock recognized Coe's songwriting abilities during this chaotic period. He recorded Single Father, a song written by Coe for his 2003 self-titled album. The track showcased Coe's ability to craft emotionally touching narratives that transcended genre boundaries. The collaboration with Kid Rock demonstrated how younger artists still valued Coe's authentic storytelling approach. While country music radio rejected him, rock and metal musicians embraced his willingness to address controversial subjects. His crossover appeal grew among audiences who appreciated artistic rebellion over commercial safety. These genre-crossing partnerships highlighted a cruel irony in his career trajectory. The same authentic voice that made him unmarketable to country radio attracted innovative artists from other musical worlds. His refusal to compromise his vision had opened doors in unexpected places while closing them in his original genre. The Confederate flag controversy continued haunting every new project, making mainstream success nearly impossible. Despite his obvious creative talents, even as innovative collaborations proved his enduring creative genius, the IRS was closing in with demands that would force Coe into the most devastating decision of his entire career. How could a man who wrote million-dollar hits end up selling his life's work for the price of a used car? Was Coe's refusal to compromise his artistic vision worth losing everything he built? Could David Allan Coe have avoided this fate if he'd chosen Willie Nelson's path instead? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also click the next video showing on your screen.